Alright, round 2. Let's see if we can get some good hands this time. Yes, I'd love to play first. Sure, I'll keep that hand. I'm beginning to suspect that our deck just doesn't do good hands. I just don't think we have the cards to have a good hand. Alright. Sure. Okay, here we go. Necromancer's Assistant into Gravedigger is a thing. Maybe less of a thing. I guess we can bring back the rats. Maybe that's a plan, actually. Like, this is a trade I'm willing to make, and then, like, next turn, Accursed Spirit, turn after that, Gravedigger, Typhoid Rats. Alright. Yeah, so Accursed Spirit now. And then next turn I can Gravedigger back the Typhoid Rats and play them. And hopefully that will hold off his stuff long enough for the Accursed Spirit to attack 7 times. Ooh. Ooh dear. Alright. Bring back the rats. Yes. And let's cast the rats. And your turn. Let's see if he can draw his 4th land. Oh dear. That's unfortunate. Okay, so he's in white. I'm going to keep on playing out swamps because it's not like we have any double white cards in the deck. So if we actually do draw, you know, a Ajani, then we can just slam it straight away anyway. And there's no reason to let him know what colour our splash is. Okay, so he's gotten his 4th land. Unfortunately, it's also a forest. So he can play his green 4-drops, but oh, that's a bit disappointing. I presume he's going to choose not to do this. Yeah. Okay, so we can come into blood this and hit in for another 6 to keep the pressure on. Or we could attack with just Accursed Spirit, Typhoid Rats. Probably get him 3. I don't know if he'll make this trade. No, I'd probably get him for 4. And play the Shade out, which could attack for a lot. I think that's actually better. So let's just attack with these 2. And play out the Shade. I don't think I'm going to play any more land because it'll take 3 more land drops before I can activate this for a 3rd time. it's probably still worth going for. Don't have any real reason to hold them back. I mean, it's just information hiding, really. It's like, what could he possibly be holding in his hand? Because now if I do draw another land, then it's like in 2 turns I'll be able to activate this up to an 8/8. So maybe that'll be relevant. I mean, 6/6 is probably big enough that it doesn't actually matter anymore. Alright, well there's another swamp. So now next turn we will be able to make this an 8/8, but at that point 6/6 is basically the abyss anyway, so everybody in, because he has to block the shade. If you, like, it seems like Gravedigger is a bad attack there, but like if he blocks Gravedigger, he's dead. So that's not what he's going to do, I hope. Yep. And this is why the ability to pump off shade for a 3rd time doesn't matter so much. So I just have to pump it enough. Ooh, ambush, huh? Well, if you're going to do that, then maybe you should have blocked the Gravedigger. Because then at least he'd kill something. I don't know. It's probably something he's playing around. Alright. I have the mana for that. That's not going to hold back too much. He has his land now, so I'm not sure why he's still only playing this sort of things, unless he's got like Resolute Archangel in his hand. Okay, so if he has Resolute Archangel, then one more land and he goes back up to 20, and that's not something I particularly want to happen. So can I kill him this turn? Covenant of Blood is 7. If I Covenant of Blood, tapping the Rats for Convoke, then I still have enough mana to pay the Oppressive Raise and I can hit him for 7. So if he doesn't have another trick, then that will be lethal. And that's just one less draw step for him to be able to hit Archangel, which, to be fair, we don't even know he has. But it seems like a reasonable explanation for why he's up to 6 land and still just plays Oppressive Raise and nothing else. I mean, the other reason is he has some instant that's going to get in our way here. But if that's the case, then it's not the other thing. And hopefully we'll be far enough ahead that it won't actually matter too much. Okay, raise the alarm. You can actually kill the shade here because I don't have the mana to do anything else, which is probably what he's going to do. No. I mean, I guess killing the shade does take him to 2, and then he's dead to the Accursed Spirit, so on that one, I would have thought you'd want to try to kill the shade, because the Gravedigger is just a 2/2. The shade's a 2/2 that can get bigger, and the Oppressive Raise isn't doing very much. Alright, so it's got his 7 mana, So if that Archangel's coming down, now's when it's going to happen. But it looks like that is not what's going to happen. Alright. Because that is the thing that I was most scared of. Alright. Attacking in. Presumably Soldier chumps the Shade. But even if like he tries to trade with the Griffin, I can still pump it once and then play the Familiar. Right. So now I don't have to pump it. I can play the Magnet instead. And I guess Living Totem is the best target here. Gets me 3 life. Your go. So he has to deal with the Accursed Spirit and play out an additional 2 blockers, or deal with additional creatures. And that doesn't seem particularly likely. Okay, next game. So once again, we don't really have a sideboard. Necrobite could be good against the green deck, just because it kills giant things. We already have one. Maybe we want a second? Not sure what we'd take out for it though. I mean, we have removal. Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll just run this back. We don't really have, like, a sideboard with this. Sure. I'll keep it this time. We could easily flood out, but at least a Accursed Spirit will get in there. And now we have Gravedigger. They can save our Accursed Spirit if he actually does manage to kill it. So we have a plan. If he does manage to kill the Accursed Spirit, we can Gravedigger it back. Otherwise, we can Gravedigger back Witch's Familiars to just recur blockers. Ooh, that'll be nice. Not super nice, because like if we +1 something, you can just tap it down with the Torrents Machine. But that does use all of his mana and doesn't use any of ours, so... What's his emblem do again? Oh yeah, prevent damage. So +1 until end of turn, up to 1 target creature gets targeted by Torrents Machine. And then -2, make all of our guys bigger. Which seems to be more likely to be relevant against the Torrents Machine, because we can go wide. You're late. Alright, Witch's Familiar now. Accursed Spirit next turn. Start threatening to do horrible things with the Accursed Spirit and force him to hold up Torrents Machine. And that's when we play Ajani. Because if he's holding up 4 mana for Torrents Machine, it means he's not developing his board, and we are developing ours. So I'm pretty sure our opponent is the he. I hope I'm not misremembering. Alright, Accursed Spirit, get in there. Don't know if that'll scare him enough to hold up the Torrance machine immediately, or whether he'll take a hit or two from it before holding that up. But things should be good. With him having the Torrance machine, I want to go a bit wider before I can actually play Ajani. So like, next turn's going to be Zoff-Shade Typhoid Rats, because I don't want to be in the situation where I can attack with the Spirit and then he taps down the Witch's Familiar and cracks back and kills the Planeswalker. So yeah, so definitely going a bit wider first. But to start with, let's get the beats rolling. And then play out some guys. And then next turn is probably going to be Ajani, and whether I go up or down, we'll have to figure out then. If he keeps up Mana of the Torrance machine, obviously not going to +1 him, because he'll just tap down whatever I target with it. But -2 would make all of these guys bigger. And we have to figure out whether that's good enough between the trample and the Torrance machine and what creatures he happens to have at the time. So he's probably thinking about whether he wants to keep up Torrance machine now or whether he wants to cast something. So he's casting a thing. No, he's equipping. Okay. That I can handle. Alright, so definitely playing Ajani here. Now, I can +1 Accursed Spirit. Attack for 4, gain 4 life. And then, on his turn, he can tap down something, attack Ajani with 4 different things, and I can make some blocks, and Ajani will almost certainly survive. Or alternatively, I can minus Ajani, make all of these guys bigger, still attack for 4. It is, yeah. Still attack for 4, but that taps the Accursed Spirit. And then he can like tap down, you know, Witch's Familiar or something, attack down, attack through Ajani is most likely dead. So I'm obviously not doing that. I can -2 and then not attack, but that seems bad. So I think we've got a plus Ajani. There's also the option of plussing Ajani on something other than Accursed Spirit, like maybe Witch's Familiar, so that I could attack with 2 things. But the Witch's Familiar, even with the +1, like even with the +1/+1 and first strike, is not a particularly safe attack. And I think I want to have all of my creatures untapped. Next turn, when I have my mana untapped, I can theoretically +1 on the Zoff-Shade and attack with that, and have, you know, threat of activation to do a lot of damage. All right, so moment of truth: is he just attacking all out at Ajani? No, he's not. All right, it's just got 1 white up. Plus, you know, Convoke. So, you know, Ephemeral Shields is a thing, but not like a super scary thing. But you can't have like Titanic Strength or or Titanic Growth or Gather Courage or any of those. So I think Ajani can take a hit from a Netcaster Spider without too much worry. So I think I'm going to I was going to say I'll get a double block the Soldier, but the Soldier's just a 1/1. It just has an equipment on it. So trading one of these guys for just a 1/1 doesn't actually seem that nice. I don't really have any profitable blocks against the Soldier, but I could block the Familiar against the Spider. And let Ajani take 3. And then all of my guys survive. Or I could like double block the Soldier, trade probably Shade for Soldier. Let Ajani take 2. And then he has to spend mana to re-equip this Brawler's Plate, and it is a lot of mana. You know what, I am actually willing to trade the Shade for him having to spend a lot of mana to re-equip that plate. Because him having to re-equip the plate means mana is not spending on Tyrant's Machine. And the card advantage battle is not the most relevant battle at the moment, the tempo battle is. Because he has some very expensive stuff that he wants to spend mana on. And meanwhile, Ajani doesn't cost us any mana at all. So I think second verse same as the first. Now let's play Gravedigger and get back this other Shade. Because Gravedigger is something that we're perfectly happy to chump block with if it keeps Ajani alive. And then we can start dumping Shades. So yeah, this turn he has, if he wants to use Tyrant's Machine, he still has no profitable attacks. And if he equips Brawler's Plate, then Typhoid Rats is in play. Alright. So now he's holding up Tyrant's Machine to use on our turn. So if I +1 Ajani, he taps down pretty much whatever I target with it. So I think my plan is instead to go wide enough that even tapping down something on my turn, then tapping down something on his turn, doesn't let me actually die to anything. And by me I mean Ajani, doesn't let Ajani die to anything. And then let Ajani -2 and just make my team huge. So I could play Shade and hold up Pump on Shade, but I think I'm instead going to play Shade and Cat, and then -2 Ajani. Because then he taps down something on our turn, taps down something on his turn, we still have 4 blockers, and he can't equip the plate if that's his plan. If he does equip the plate, then I think we have enough toughness that Ajani is not going to die. Let me think about that. So if he taps down the highest toughness thing, which is the Witch's Familiar, and then equips Brawler's Plate to Netcaster Spider on his turn, and attacks all 3 of these at Ajani, then this is 4 power of Trample, and we can block that with like Gravedigger and like Black Cat or something, because that'll be 5 toughness. And then the other 2 things we can block with whatever. Like even if he pops the Cathar, then Like if he plays the 6th land, and then he can like equip and pop the Cathar, and that still wouldn't be enough. So yeah, I think we'll be relatively safe with that plan. I mean, there are still things he could theoretically draw. Like he could equip Brawler's Plate and then like Titanic Strength it, but I don't think there's much we can do to play around that plan. So I think we're just going to go wide. And let's see what he taps down. Yeah. Alright. So I don't think he can attack Ajani from here. Right, so he didn't equip the plate, which makes our maths a lot easier. And he's probably not even attacking at all. Alright. He's holding up the machine again. So I think I +1 on the shade, force him to tap that instead. Obviously not -2ing again this turn, because I want to keep Ajani around. So I get a +1 on something that forces him to tap down the something. May as well just be the Accursed Spirit. Pillar of Light, the Accursed Spirit. Well, I guess that's also a plan. I think we just dump our hand here. We don't need to hold up Pump on the Shades. But yeah, we've gotten to that point that I was talking about before where he needs to hold up Torrent's Machine every turn. So that he can tap down whatever we +1 Ajani on. Because otherwise we just crash in for ridiculous amounts. Which means that he is really crimped on mana and we are not in the slightest. So our game plan is basically force him to keep on holding up Torrent's Machine, not develop his board very much. Meanwhile, we go wide enough and -2 enough times that we can just eventually just attack the lethal. Interesting. So he is not keeping up Torrent's Machine this turn. Maybe we can do something horrible with the Shade. At the very least, we gain a lot of life doing this turn. Or we could do it on the Scudder and hit him for 4. We do it on the Scudder, we hit him for 4. If we do it on the Shade, we can theoretically gain... Was it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? We can theoretically gain 8 life. And almost certainly kill one of his guys. I mean, the soldier. I think that's actually more fun. Like, hitting with the Scudder a few times. I think the Scudder is actually the plan that gets us to victory sooner. Because this probably kills one of his guys anyway, because he almost certainly blocks with the Spider here. I don't think he wants to take 4. Yeah. So we have that, and even if he has some sort of horrible trick, we can Necrobite it. Alright. And now just leave up all of our mana so that we can pump Shades on defense. So even Brawler's Plate on Willforged Golem isn't actually going to be enough. Triplicate Spirits. Siege Worm. Siege Worm is not a concern. Alright, so we hit him for a bunch here. Awkwardly not quite half his life total. And now I don't think there's any value to playing out the child. Much rather keep up additional pumps on the shades. Is this Triplicate Spirits? No, it's another Siege Worm. No, it's more than that. Feral Incarnation. Okay, this is getting a little bit scary. Not a lot though, because we still hit him for 4 next turn, taking him to 1. And then even if he cracks back and kills Ajani, we still have the flyer. And I don't think he can crack back and kill us, because we have a lot of life. We've been gaining a lot of life this game. So I think we just keep on doing what we've been doing. Let's see, he's tapped out, he's got 5 things that can block. 1, 2, 3. We got 6 attackers. I think we're just killing this turn. I don't think there's any risk in just going for it. Because the Scudder definitely gets through. And then he blocks 5 of these, and that is enough to kill him. Is that risky? If he does have something with Convoke, he's only got green. And I think Gather Courage is the only one. I can't remember any others. And that isn't going to help. The Green Fog doesn't have Convoke, so we can't have that. He would just go for it. I mean, if he has something and he's able to survive, Ajani is straight dead. But alright, so do you actually have something? No. Alright, so we won that one. And yeah, turns out Ajani is actually a very, very good card. I'm glad we picked it up, and I'm glad we actually ended up playing white. So we'll see whether it can carry us through the last round. I'll see you then.